guys, I want to go over a couple quick things with this video. I'm going to do two separate parts here. The first thing I'm going to talk about was something that I was not aware of with the rules of Malifaux, and a lot of people who watch this may think this is pretty basic, but somehow I overlooked it. And I got to thank Bill and Chris and Mike and the guys down at Huzzah Hobbies in Northern Virginia. Also from the Podcast Gamers Lounge from my trip down to Virginia for work, where I got a chance to game with the guys a couple nights that week. So this was something I missed during the movement, and again, I don't know how I missed this. My two models here I'm going to use is Nicodem on the right and Ikirio on the left. And Ikirio is going to move in to attack Nicodem. Now, according to the stat card, which I'm hoping to get a screenshot of this to show you guys this, but her movement has a walk 5 and a charge of 7. So we're going to assume that she only has the ability to walk in this case and then possibly attack once. So she can move 5 inches. So I don't know how well the ruler is going to show up. There we go. So let me move that over, and we'll call it about right there. So 5 inches puts her about right there. I did jostle Nicodem a little bit, so let me move him. So there's a gap there still. Now, I was always under the impression that they had to be in base-to-base contact for her to do a melee attack. Now, lo and behold, it even says this plain and simple on the stat card. Her melee attack is range 1, meaning she can attack up to 1 inch. So, since Nicodem, there's a gap there, but he's within 1 inch. Can't really see it there, but you get the idea. She can perform her attack. So this was something new to me. It definitely changes things. The guys opened up all kinds of possibilities with this. Even when I was moving past other models and stuff, or where I positioned myself where I was in that 1 inch to be able to attack a model. And maybe there was a model to the side of Nicodem, so I would want to come over to make sure that my 1 inch was here, so that this second model would not have the ability to reach Ikirio. So just a couple things about, very simple, but keep an eye on what that range is, even for your melee attacks. So in this case, Ikirio would be able to attack Nicodem, and that's actually going to bring us to our next thing to go over. Anybody that really follows me on Twitter should know that I had problems understanding how the combat modifiers work. So let me get some cards here and we'll show you how this works. Matter of fact, we'll just do a couple random cards. Alright, so stat card to stat card here. Ikirio is going to do her melee attack within that 1 inch. Her attack combat is 6. So remember that she's starting with 6. Versus defense of Nicodem, which is only 3. So then we get to the card flips. Again, for anybody that hasn't played Malifaux, we're going to use cards rather than dice. So Ikirio is going to flip a 4. Now that's putting her at a total of 10 right now versus Nicodem's 3. Nicodem only flips a 1. So that's a 10 to a total of 4. So you're going to add 1 in his 3 defense, 4 in her 6 combat. So that is going to give us a 10 to 4. So this was the part that was getting confusing to me before. We have a difference of 6. So in this case, there's no modifier. So that is going to be a straight flip. So she's going to flip one more card, and this is going to be her damage. So a damage of 8, and it, well, not 8 damage, but moderate. So you would go back to her stat card, which there's 3 different levels of damage. Her weak is a 2, her moderate is a 3, and her severe is a 5. So since we flipped the moderate, she's going to do 3 damage to Nicodem. Now there's all kinds of other things that could happen. Nicodem's a master. He can burn a soul stone to try to prevent this damage. He could even have soul stone to increase this 1. He could have cheated this 1 from his hand. There's all kinds of other things I can cover in other videos. Now let's do something else here. Let's take this away, but let's say that this 4 here was actually a 13. So that is giving a total of 19, her 6 combat, 13 on the flip, so 19, versus again his 4. So the modifier rule is basically anything 11 or more in that differential there gets a plus modifier to her flip. So in this case, she would end up flipping 2 cards for her damage and taking the highest of the 2. So again, she's got a weak and a moderate, so the moderate's going to be the damage. So hopefully that helps everybody understand. Let's take those back, and we got one more case. Let's say she's back at the 10. 6 and 4 is 10. Now let's say that Nicodem flipped something different. We will say that he flipped, let's see, we got 10 versus his 3. Let's go and say he flips a 10. So now, actually that doesn't work. That's 11 versus 10. We're losing by 1. Let's do 8. There we go. Nope, that still doesn't do it. Bear with me, guys, here. It's been a long week. We've got 10 versus 3. We won a 9. 6. 6 is the magic number I'm looking for this demonstration. Alright. So now we've got 10 to 9. So I'm only winning by 1. Now this actually means it's going to be a negative flip on Ikirio's damage. Anything that's a differential of only 1 to 5, we're going to do a negative flip. Now once again, she's going to flip 2 cards, but this time take the lower of the 2. In this case they were both weak, but if she had flipped a weak and a moderate or severe, she would be forced to take the lesser of the 2 cards. So this was something that, you know, confused me early on, and I appreciate the guys walking me through this. Now that I have an understanding of it, I think it's really simple. For whatever reason, it was just something, you know, took me a little while to grasp. So there's one more scenario in there, which is actually a tie. If they would both ended up with the same numbers, say a 10 and a 10, it's actually a double negative flip. So she would actually flip 3 cards here and take the lowest of the 3 cards. So hopefully that helps you guys understand. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. I've started a little bit of a list of a couple things I want to cover. Other than that, I've got this weekend off. I'm going to try to get some painting done. I got to finally get Kirai painted up. I've got 2 Insidious Madness that just need final touches and the base finished on. I've added 2 more on Ryo and 2 more Session. They just need actually pretty much everything. They're basically just assembled and based. I still need to prime them and then get the paint on them. The session are a little bit different. The models themselves are the same. I ended up actually, I don't know if many people remember, but I got some, you know, Asian themed base materials. So these are a couple lanterns there. We got some little clay or teapots. There was also a couple wooden buckets, and what I did was I actually put the session in the wooden buckets and then mounted the bucket on the base. So I'm going to try to actually paint up the inside of the bucket and fill it with some water effects to make it look like the session's actually bursting out of the bucket. So I don't know how well it's going to come out. That's going to be my first time dealing with water effects, but that's just a couple things that are on my plate. Trying to get some hobby stuff done, but at the same time enjoy my first full weekend off, and I don't know how long. So again, we covered watch your range, your reach in Melee. There are models that are more than 1 inch as well. Just keep an eye on it. And with the modifiers, just remember, if you've got a -2 flip, you're flipping 3 cards, taking the lowest one. If you got a -1, you're flipping 2 cards, taking the lowest. If you got an even straight flip, you're only flipping 1 card, you're taking what you get. If you've got a positive flip, you're going to flip 2 cards, take the highest. There are other modifiers to that. Matter of fact, I think Akirio actually had an ability where she can actually end up in the bonus flips right off the bat. Yeah, it's one of her triggers. So there's all kinds of different things that can be done there. If you guys got any questions, feel free to drop me a message, comment below, PM me, do a video response. If I got anything wrong here, if you guys see something that I got incorrect, other than me just stumbling through some of it, again, let me know. I've only got, what, 7 games under my belt, and 4 of those games were with a brand new player who's a buddy of mine that, you know, when I first started getting my models put together, we were getting this stuff, you know, trying to stumble through the rules ourselves. So talk to you later, guys.